So I was thinking for today for my first official music production video. Sorry, I just want to fix that one strand of hair. Should have done that beforehand. But I would make a introduction beat to my channel. So like a beat that I use at the start of every video, something like that. So I think what I'm going to do to start that off is, and I don't normally do this, I want to stress this enough because I know I stressed so much in the last two videos that I do think I am a pretty versatile, solid producer. I do not use Looperman or loops that often. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, as beat making is a collaborative process, but I do come up with most of my own melodies on my own. The reason I'm going to be using Looperman today is because, one, this is like an introductory video. This is like a video. Hold on, I'm just going to move location for a second because the computer's kind of slipping. This is like a video for anyone who, wants to get into producing but doesn't necessarily know how. So what I want to do by doing this, by introducing Looperman, is saying, listen, if you're not comfortable making your own loops or with producing, here's a site that you can get started with. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to launch up Looperman right here on my computer. Should have screen record on. I'll log in. Already signed in pretty much. Oh wow, they're having a test. Let's see, where are the cars? Car. I think I got all of them, right? Those are kind of cars. Hopefully that's right. Yep, okay. I wonder if you get those partially right if they give it to you, because that last one was actually kind of weird. So we're going to go to loop/samples. I'm thinking, let's see, thinking we do a beat at about 140. So 140 to 140, and a simple beat, because it is our first beat for a lot of people. So C minor, always a simple key to start in. Any date, any member. Oh, Minor to Go is a good member, but we're not going to use him right now. Any keywords. Oh wow, it's pretty crazy. Look, it has keywords from like even other things too. So obviously we wouldn't use those, but for categories, we're probably going to look for, actually, you know what, we'll do all categories because we are looking for a melody most likely. Let's do trap though as our genre. I would consider myself an all-around producer of most genres, but we're just going to do trap because, that's most popular and stuff like that, and that's probably what I'm best at overall and what I'll be covering most on this channel. And then when we go to downloads, we want to order by descending because we want the best beats first, not ascending, descending. So we're going to find loops. Come on. There we go. All right, and then even the first loop should be good. Let's check it out. Let me turn up the volume a little bit here. Ooh. I would say that's a pretty fire loop to use. That's an 8-bar loop, I believe. It is 140, it sounds like. Just by ear. It is a brass loop, it looks like, and from my somewhat relative pitch, I do think it is in C minor. So anyways, we are going to go, just call this brass loop. That's it. We'll just call it brass loop. And then we are going to, and then I just had two other loops here from other beats I was making. This is a new file though. I haven't really done much in here. But anyways, we're gonna take this brass loop, throw it in here. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Just wanted to get rid of the highlighting. We're gonna double click on the brass loop. Let's listen to it one more time. Alright, so a great loop. Now we're just going to do some normal, as it says, sorry, I can't say that today for some reason. Some normal pre-computed effects that I normally do on most loops I get online, which is to normalize them and fade the stereo, stuff like that. And then we could also, let's see, what else could we do? We could boost it. I don't think we're going to. Let's see what happens if we EQ it though. How it sounds. The other way. So there are two ways you can do it. One more time. I like it the other way. Okay. The mix. No. We'll put that doing a little bit, just not too much. Good. The mix frequency. I wonder what that sounds like. Frequencies are a little too high now, so we'll put it about there. Turn this down just the tiniest bit. Put that about there. And then resonance. No, definitely doesn't sound good with that. Maybe just with a tiny bit, but I don't think so overall. It would. Let's see that. We're going to cut the sample down, change the cutoff a little bit. Ooh, I think that sounds a little better. Maybe a little bit more. Just don't want to lose too much. There you go, that's good. Should we boost it? Let's see. Maybe not that much, but a decent amount we can. Put it out here. There we go. Put some reverb on it. A little too much. About that much on it. And a little less. I actually like, whoa. Just a little bit would be good. Not. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of reverb, some delay. We'll put the delay a little bit about here. And never, ever use Pogo. I know I'm not really explaining what these are, so I'll do that real quick now that I'm done with that, every one of them. But let me just show you what the Pogo effect will do to something right now. So if I just... Well, you can use it, but like... It doesn't... I mean, I guess to make something very, it just, it's literally operates almost like a pogo stick, I feel like. So anyways, so I would not recommend using that. Um, so anyways, um, like it bounces up and down and stuff like that. But anyways, so stereo delay and reverb are very similar. Delay is basically how much you're, delaying something to be played. So it didn't really do that much because it's a sample, obviously, or it's a loop, not a sample. Those are two different things that I will explain later. Um, the reverb, that's almost like an echoey type thing. I would say that's the best way to describe reverb in layman's terms. And EQ shifts the frequencies um, of a piece. So switching it down will lower frequencies, up will raise frequencies. Um, then we have the modulation mix. I'm actually not sure what ring does. I know it's a type of modulation. Modulation will just change something in general. So, and there are many types of modulations. I'll show you two more in a minute. But there's like modulation ring, modulation X, modulation Y, modulation Z. But I'm not sure what modulation or ring modulation mix does. But I know this is the frequency that controls it. So I know if I like or if I want, I know like what it does because I've used it before. So if I know I want that certain effect at a frequency, all I have to do is go to that frequency to use the modulation without knowing really exactly what it does. Um, Cut is obviously just the cut off of the piece, and resonance is obviously just, the resonance of the piece. Those are pretty self explanatory. Boost will just boost the loop again, not a sample, a loop. And then that's all the effects there are here. If we go back here, normalize will just normalize the sample. Stereo is just going to change the stereo channels of the sample, and it's gonna like flip the channels of the sample. Um, Reverse polarity is going to do the same exact thing except vertically, and then remove DC offset. I know it centers something, but I'm not sure exactly what. That's one of those things that I don't think does a massive thing, but I always turn on most of the time. Because, like I said, I'm not a pro. I don't know. I don't know two things of all these effects. Now there are a lot of effects here, and they're not used that often, but even so, still. Okay. Anyways, let's continue going on to what we would do to this sample. So next we have well, I'm going to load up some slice markers possibly, so I'm going to put that in there. But next we have time stretching. Now this could change the pitch, the time, or multiply both of those. We do not want that because we like the sample the way it is. If you have a sample that's too low, maybe it's too high, you can do that. But I would not recommend doing that in the master. I would recommend doing that in Edison, which I will explain in a later video. That's what the pitch up here does. Pan will channel to which side of like headphones you want to hear. That'll just mute and stuff like that. And next, this is just a volume adjustment. I'm just going to turn up the volume. Again, we have mod X and mod Y. I know that mod X turns up the dynamic of something, and mod Y turns down the velocity of something. Like if I turn down, like if I don't do, watch, it's soft. So I know that, but to the main specifics of what they do, I don't really know. Next, this is just going to cut the loop into different parts. We do not want that. Oh, we do want the volume up here though. And then this is just going to fine tune the loop. Again, the loop is already pretty well tuned, as we said. If you might find a loop slightly off in Looperman, you can fine tune it. But all we're going to do is add this to the key of C and enable it as the main pitch, because that is what the main pitch, C is the main pitch of the loop. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I just changed the pitch range to 1 because, I don't know, I like doing that whenever I do have to change pitch, even though we're not going to be doing that right now. So anyways, oh, last but not least, we have to put what mixer track this will be, and this will be our first thing in, so it will be 1. So let's see, I just want to see, how long have I been? Okay, this video has been pretty long just to flip this one sample, but no fear, because the good news is I already had, or I didn't have specifically, but I think they will fit. Let's check them out. I can put them there, 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 there. Oh, not pattern 1. Well, I do need pattern 1 again eventually, but let's make sure this sample is exactly 140. It's a little over actually, which is not bad because it's probably just excess. Like, it's probably just, see how it's flattened out, so there's nothing playing there, but we do need to cut that. I'm sorry about that email alert, by the way. Wait, did we get that exactly? No, we did not. See how it's even slightly off? We have to get that perfectly on. And then we can't take this and drag it back because that was copied from this original. So we have to delete, recopy by clicking it on again, and then clicking, and now it should copy in. And now look, if we look at the end, perfect. Okay. So these drums should work out. Let's play it though. I'm just gonna loop the whole thing to make sure. And you can loop by double clicking or right clicking kinda, and then sliding with left to all the way to where you want to. Either if I wanted to start at 5, I would start at 5, but I want to start at 1, so I'll drag it to 1. But then if you drag right to where you want to end it, I want to end it at 17 because I want it to be 16 bars. Oh, that's just a little side note. When it ends at 17, that is not 17 bars. That's 16 bars, by the way. That's just something beginner producers forget a lot. So that's just a little tip to let you know. Okay. All right. So now we are going to be playing this and seeing how it sounds. Okay, I actually think that sounds pretty good. The one thing I would say is I do think that we have to mix the levels of the loop a little bit. So we'll go into mixer. We did put it a little too high, I think. Just confirm, is it? The brass loop is pattern 1. So go to all. Oh, so is the kit. Ooh, that's not good. So we'll make the brass loop. Is there an 8? Oh, there's no 8. Good. Okay, so we'll make the brass loop 8. Hopefully we didn't mess with the kick. I don't think we did because we didn't go into the mixer. But we're just going to take the brass loop add some compression. And normally compression is an up gain dynamic plugin, but we're going to put down gain because it seems a little loud right now. So we're going to lower the gain of the loop a little bit so we can hear everything else a little better. And then we're also going to do a limiter as well. Lower the gain there. Let's see, about right about halfway. It's a little bit more. There we go. And lower the cell a little bit. That's good. I'm going to raise the attack a little bit though. I will explain what, let's see, release. What should we do with that? We're going to leave that the same. Sustain. I'm going to lower it a little bit. Okay. Release. I'm going to boost that for the noise gate a little bit. Gain I'll turn down just a little bit. And the threshold. Barely put any noise gate on it. Now the other components. We'll bring up the attack a little bit. Bring down the release a little bit. Bring up the sustain a little bit. Okay. And then last but not least, I will explain what that envelope thing was a little later on. We're just running a little low on time. So I will get more into what I'm exactly doing while I'm mixing in a later video. But just because we're running low on time, I can't really do that now. So next we are going to add, let's see, what would be good. Let's add a send. Volume down just a tiny bit. Make it a little bit dry, a little bit wetter. Let's add a EQ. I like the more, let's play, yeah, the bass needs to come out a little more. I'm going to bump the frequencies a little higher, the bass frequencies. That might be a little too high, but we'll see. Change that to 4 non, into 4 non. And we'll lower these down here. And we'll lower this down here. I'll do like 3,500 and we'll lower to 6. That's 6. And 3,500. Ooh, that sounds good. Alright, now we're just going to add a chorus because I think that'll sound good with this. Oh, perfect. Okay, polychorus is my favorite chorus too, by the way, just to let you know. EQ controls frequencies, so whether we hear the higher voices or lower voices. Send controls the dryness. We turned down the dryness a little bit, made it a little more wet, and the volume as well. We just turned down the volume a smidge as well. And let's see, what else did we do? Just to explain all these really quickly. Limiter, the loudness is obviously just loudness. The envelope is, attack is when you like attack a note. So the longer the attack, the longer it's going to take to reach the peak of the note. The release is exactly how it sounds. How long it's going to take for that end to release. Once you've finished pressing that note, how long it's going to take to completely release. And sustain is that thing right in the middle, I believe. All right, so that's what we did there. And then last but not least, compression. All we did was turn down the gain, which is the dynamics, the velocity, the volume. All right. And I think we're good now. Check. Ooh, that's much better. Okay, so I think that we have officially made our. I just want to try one more thing. Crank the volume up a little bit for that. Yeah, I don't think it needs it. Alright, I just wanted to see if the kick maybe needed a little more of a boost, but I actually think it's great the way it sounds. Now, I will also use this pattern of drums for the outro beat because I want to keep it in the same key. I actually have an idea of what I'm going to do for the outro beat, so stay tuned and don't worry, I will explain how I got all of these made and everything like that. Alright, that'll be this video for today. And I will see you soon for the video on the outro beat. Sorry this was so long, but stay safe and be good people.